welcome. If you have not heard of this game, oh boy, you're in for a treat. So when I say I've played a certain MMO for many years, we're looking at the Lord of the Rings Online, which is a very interesting game. There was a free level skip that was given out fairly recently, and as you can see, and people that have played this game know exactly how many, some of the stuff. But I've played for a number of years. I did not play since year one, which I'm very sad about. Did not play since year one, but I was pretty close. But it's a fun game. It's interesting. I've never actually run through it completely. So even though I'm at max level, I figured we would take a little bit of time and kind of explore it. Just kind of an off thing from when I'm not doing 14, when I'm not doing RuneScape. I figured it'd be really fun to do, really fun to try out, and just kind of get to see some of the sights and stuff of Middle-earth. Just kind of, if you haven't seen this, you'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, this exists. If you've already seen this, you get to see kind of a reaction to somebody returning to the game after so many years. So, we have a very big map on. Oh, I remember this is old theme. We have a very big map. We can already get to. We can already get to Mordor. Yeah, we can already get to Mordor, Gondor, Rohan, Ravanian. I actually have never been to Ravanian. Actually, I've never been here. And obviously, we start off in Arador because originally it was Lord of the Rings. Can we even go to Harrowdwaith now? Really? Wow, we can go to. This is. Yeah, I guess to be fair, because Umbar, right? This is going to be a fun one to get back into. It does follow the books more than it follows the movies, if you've seen and/or read Lord of the Rings movies. Generally, when you start off, I can't speak to Beorning because Beorning is a class that was added after I stopped playing for a little bit. Generally, you'll start off in, if you are a dwarf or an elf, you'll start off in Ered Luin. You'll start off in the Blue Mountains. Thorin's Gate is if you are actually both elf and dwarf, I believe, right? You'll start off in Thorin's Gate. Gondomar, a lot of people spend a lot of time there. After the tutorial is finished, dwarves will go to Thorin's Gate. Elves will go to Kilondem. If you are a hobbit folk, you actually get to go to, if I can find it. Is this it? No, yeah. You get to go to the Old Links. This is a. I'm trying to figure out where the Shire is specifically. But anyways, if you're a hobbit, you go to the Shire. You start there. If you're a man, you start in Breeland. You'll start over here in Archet. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here, and we have outlying, Chetwood, Archet, a lot of cool things in Breeland. Generally, the progression of this game works out. You'll start from the west and go east, so you'll go from Ered Luin or the Shire or Breeland. You're gonna have your up to 20s through probably about Breeland, starting to go from 20 to 30. You're gonna go to the Lone Lands. Make your way from west to east into. Oh, they updated the map for this. I feel this is a lot more detailed than it used to be. I've done multiple characters and got up through Garth Argowen, but it just started getting into content that I would love to have players for. You get to have things like Weathertop in the Lone Lands. Lone Lands also leads into the Trollshaws, which is effectively going to be Rivendell. Rivendell goes up to the Misty Mountains as well. You can see cool things like Goblin Town. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of cool shit in this game if you haven't played this. And it's a quote-unquote WoW clone, but it's kind of developed its own identity over the years, and it's super, super cool. Would I play Wizard 101? At this time, I would not. I had somebody that I really did not play Wizard 101, so that's just more of a I don't play it because they played it, if that makes sense. I'd gulag what to do. It's not a whole heck of a lot. Just kind of explaining, getting everyone caught up to Lord of the Rings Online. But you can kind of see, it kind of borrows from the Dwarven architecture. There's probably some movie isms in here, especially from an aesthetic standpoint. But the sheer scale of some of these things, right? Did they have to go this hard into Thorin's Hall? Probably not. And this is still Shadows of Angmar territory. So it's very, very interesting to see. And then you can get up here, right? And you get to see characters from the books, movies, etc. You have Dwalin from the Thorin Oakenshields company. It's kind of neat, actually. But yeah, what I'm trying to get across is there's a lot of cool stuff in this game. Yeah, and Lord of the Rings Online, the fact that it's still going strong, because it used to be, who had it, and then Standing Stones got it. Standing Stone Games got it. let's put it this way. When due to Rings of Power, Amazon decides, hey, we're gonna do a Lord of the Rings MMO, and that flops, but this is still going strong after like 16-ish years. What do you think I'm gonna play? What do you think I'm gonna recommend? What level would you have to be to explore the whole thing? I mean, I'm level capped because of the free boost that they gave out. So, I mean, I'm just gonna go do it. I can actually start. Turbine had it. Thank you. It was Turbine. I'm through a somewhat part of Angmar. I never have finished Angmar proper, so that's going to be my goal, is getting it to a point where I don't care if I'm synced down, because I mean, I've played enough of Angmar that it's fine. You obviously have your horses. I mean, mount selection is pretty limited. You get like, I think, a goat at some point for Moria, but that's like the first expansion. Rings of Power still. I still have to watch it. I haven't had the ability to watch it. I've heard not really good news. I should probably actually, because Twitch does not like world chat sometimes. I also have to mess with my UI a little bit. You can't actually go to Edhelion. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's very wow, you'll notice. Like, there's a lot of similarities. Oh, level cap's 150 now. Okay, fair enough. Having seen T-Bone's ribeye from Outback. Oh, you legend. I'm so jealous. Jealous of ribeye. When was that the Game Pass? I have no idea. I don't actually have Games Pass. I like that all the guards get updated to current level cap. That's actually one of those really cool things. It's good if you know nothing about the franchise lore, but if you know it sucks. That seems par for the course, honestly. Like, that actually seems par for the course for what I've heard. I have to actually watch a couple people, you know, a year out. How did Rings of Power actually do? Were we too harsh on it? Were we not harsh on it? You know, harsh enough on it? But I like Lord of the Rings a bit more. Yes, no, Lord, I as somebody that doesn't do WoW lore, right? I have no idea who, I almost said Arthedain, that is the Lord of the Rings thing. Who the current Lich King is. I know that somebody overthrew the old Lich King, but there has to be a Lich King. So, I mean, he became the new Lich King. I don't understand WoW lore. It's just not been my thing. But, like, Lord of the Rings, as I understand it, I mean, it's just the setting's great. The setting's neat. The soundtrack is actually super nice, Stray Force. And, like, visually, the game still kind of holds up, which is kind of great. I mean, yeah, you can tell this is a very low-level area, level 7s. It's just, I've never really had the ability to really go through it, especially on stream, because it's not a very popular game. It's not a game that a lot of people play, I would argue. Time's the same show if you don't know. I read up through book 7. Wheel of Time actually killed my enjoyment for reading. Let's put it that way. I got to Crown of Swords, book 7, and I just could not deal with it. It was awful. I mean, awful in the sense that it's just long-winded. Like, so the thing with Robert Jordan is that he takes so long to explain certain things. And this is obviously, what is this? I can't remember what is this? Oh, this is Noglond, right? Because Noglond, and this is a stop here, and I was training around here, questing till about like 12, I think, and then I went over to Gondamon. Gimli counted as 2. Gross. I love that. Robert Jordan is just long-winded, and it's unfortunate because, like, he brings some interesting things to the table, like Baelzamon, like the Forsaken. He brings a lot of cool things to the table, but he's really just not... It takes him a while to get there, let's put it that way. When your book is 600 to 1,000 pages, and only the first, like, 150 and then the last 200 matter to your average reader, you might have a problem being long-winded. He takes forever to get to the... Yeah, he does. Yes. Unfiltered, Robert Jordan. He takes forever to get to the fucking point. You are correct, Corky. 100%. Like, it really is unfortunate. God, it's been forever since I've had to go through this. Gondamond. You're right, Port City of Keladul. They changed it to the Wondershire. Did they really? Like, was that a recent change, or was that always like that? I'm pretty sure that's a recent change. I'm pretty sure it was always Shire. Paolini. Yes, no, 100%. And there's a reason I love when I pop into a Dragon Spit stream and she starts talking about Paolini. and how like I love it because Paolini is great. I love him. Like, I mean, someone could argue, I guess some could argue, oh well, he could go a little bit more deep into certain things, you know, because like Aragon itself is only what 300 pages, and the pacing was pretty quick all throughout Aragon. But he has a good writing style. He knows how to write. He's engaging. I love Paolini. I have my copy of Murtaugh over here. I just need to actually get caught up. Did I not spec? Did it redo my specs? It redid my specs again. His writing was a bit shallow. Right, and that's the thing. You can have it, but you can have an educated discussion and they're like, oh, I thought Paolini was a little bit shallow. I think Robert Jordan is a little long-winded. You know, some might think that. So playing Elden Ring, right? I can see the Martinisms. I'm not a huge fan, but to be fair, I've had everyone telling me, Kip, you should watch Game of Thrones. Kip, you should read Game of Thrones. You should give George R.R. Martin a chance. And I have not caved yet. Nothing against the dude. It's just like, I don't really care. I'm kind of indifferent. But yeah, no, Murtaugh is going to be an interesting read. I have to read the 4th book because I'm not for that. Your spawn points, kind of similar to WoW. I think you have your little Entmoot kind of things. There's the spawn points for the area, which are kind of cool. I don't know if they change those later. Like, I mean, it's kind of like how coming back to this from something like A Realm Reborn and other MMOs. So I've played, in the time since I played Lord of the Rings Online, I played a little bit of WoW, like up to maybe like 20. I've played, and I'm still currently playing Final Fantasy 14. I am still playing RuneScape. There's a couple others in there. I think I played a little bit of BDO, played a little bit of New World. Like, I've had experience in a lot of other things, so it's really interesting. His book is in the show. I mean, I'm sure at some point we might have a, hey, let's go watch, you know, a Game of Thrones in the server. I mean, we might do that. But like, I just haven't really. I saw a meme about that recently, actually. If you have not actually watched a Game of Thrones or anything like that, you know, you are just immune to peer pressure at this point. And I'm like, I kind of feel like that. We're gonna take a quick detour. So Dwelland is I think it is Dwelland. I can't. There's actual pronunciations because it is based off of the works. It's based off of the novelizations. It's based off of the linguistics that Tolkien created, right? It's not Celandem, it's Kelondem. You can't see over my shoulder, but there's, if you understand the lore, you understand the language, there is definitely a game for you here, in my opinion. And it's got, a WoW-esque style. You have I'm assuming your rotation at higher levels and stuff. Even through Shadows of Angmar alone, it was like just super fun. Can I even? No, I can't actually do that. To the Grey Havens. Can you even? Yeah, you'll notice like to the Grey Havens in the middle of the screen, but you can't actually go there. We're gonna go this as far. So you see how like the Elven architecture is just different? They didn't have to go this hard. I'm glad they went this hard. And that's probably part of the reason that it's been as popular as it's been over the years and still is alive. They didn't have to go this hard into the game, into the design, but they did, and I appreciate it. And even from a low level, you can just go and experience like Elven architecture, Dwarvish architecture. You can go hang out in Bag End, which is what we're gonna attempt to do. Because I mean, I figure what else? I need to like kind of like reacquaint myself with the world. And even then, in the distance, you can start seeing some of that Dwarvish architecture. So there's like, it makes sense in setting, right? It makes sense that you're gonna have because I mean, like Círdan the Shipwright was he didn't stay in. He was more. Círdan the Shipwright was there when and this is gonna be contested, when the wizards came in to Middle Earth, when they came in, right? But technically, depending on which version, technically Alatar and Palamo, which aren't even technically their names, once again, depending on the version you're looking at, they didn't even they came in the Second Age. So it was only Radagast, Gandalf, and Saruman by, I think, the most recent. Tolkien revisions are interesting when you start delving into them. The Star Trek show onto YouTube for everybody to watch. I mean, I don't know. Paramount seems like they're doing interesting things. Like the scale, especially on a game that's like, I was playing this in like 2005, right? Or like mid 2000s. The scale on this is actually quite impressive. Like you look at it and it's like, okay, they didn't. I mean, I also have ultra graphics on, right? So that's probably helping. Like, there's a little popping with those trees right there. But I mean, it's really cool, actually. I think that this is an incredibly underrated MMO. I mean, don't get me wrong, travel time, yeah, but you do have your instant options of transporting. Like, as a hunter, for instance, which apparently most of the player base is, like, I get access to like finding campsites and finding certain things. So I can go to Osgaruth, I can go to Bree on a whim. Just you get teleport options like that. Warden was actually probably one of my favorite classes, honestly, because Warden slaps. You effectively have your 3 basic skills and you build up different combos using them. Like, it's kind of cool. Books more than the show. Like, the early seasons were great, but they cut a lot of stuff that made it interesting. Then as soon as they ran out of material, drop in quality. Yeah, a lot of people were not happy with season 8 Game of Thrones. The fact that that actually wasn't blocked by a loading zone, though, I want to just take a second to just like think on that for a second. Like, the fact that that wasn't blocked by a loading zone. Final Fantasy 14 had loading zones, and that came out in what? A Realm Reborn came out, what, 2014 or so? Something like that? I don't remember it being called the Yondershire, though, is the thing that's so strange. I mean, there's a sense of scale, and obviously, like, oh, Kip, you're just running through it. I mean, yeah, I'm running through it pretty quickly, but do I need to kill a level 23 black bear? Do I need to necessarily gank a lot of these ads? Not really. But yeah, I mean, you'll find mobs everywhere if you want to do that. Season 8 low, like Lacer not being a thing. Stark's in there. I honestly have no bearing on that, to be honest. I have no understanding of Game of Thrones. I'm also more preference. Like, I don't know. I would like, Kip, do you want to sit down and watch Game of Thrones? Do you want to watch the Hobbit trilogy? I'll just watch the Hobbit trilogy. Because at least I can understand it, and I have commentary if someone asks a question, right? This track going a little too hard. If I can remember. God, I forgot how big the Shire was. It's a whole area. Original 14 didn't have loading screens. This ended with things like 2-minute rundown, a tunnel to get to Ul'dah, so things could load. Ah, that makes sense though. So the loading screens is actually a quality of life feature. Interesting. Thank you for that. Murder, war, relationships, the results of murder. Yeah, sounds about right. That sounds on par with stuff I've heard of Game of Thrones. Star Trek New Game Plus. I've really only seen TNG in terms of Star Trek. All of your reaction videos. That is a feat in itself. I actually do a lot of my reactions with, like, in mind that not everyone's gonna watch everything, but there is content there if people want to watch it. That's how I kind of do that. So if you're watching all of them, I salute you. Kat, why are you here? You were not in here before. I don't think I can let that slide. We're gonna try that again. See if the rocks pop in as bad as they just did. No, yep, there's. That's so strange. That is so strange. Do I watch anime? Yes. Not as much as I used to, and I've watched less than you think I've watched. But yeah, I mean, I watch it. I have watched it. I continue to still kind of watch it. I mean, I'm opening my map just as much as I do on, like, on 14. So, I mean, it's not much different. Right, I forgot that the bounders were a thing. Like, there's a lot of cool little things. And, like, there's different enemy variety, too. Like, you got your standard, like, wolves and stuff. You got your standard boar. Is that a Knickerbreaker? Yeah, it is. Little bugs. And then, obviously, you get weird things in an instance dungeon where it's, like, you get, like, the nameless things, and they're just, like, this weird humanoid-looking thing. It's super interesting. Yeah, I have no... I feel like they updated this map since I last looked at it. It is a very cool locale, though. I mean, like, and you can see, like, the Hobbit architecture. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, 14, and 14 does kind of similar, right? The architecture of Limsa Lominsa is different than Gridania, then is different from Ul'dah, then is different from Mordona. So, I mean, I guess I'm giving it brownie points for just like, yeah, this is kind of the standard. But I think what I want to kind of point out is that it's not the standard anymore. It's really not, right? Like, when you think of modern AAA games, when you think of modern MMOs, right? Do you think of something like this with time and architecture and stuff? And, like, it's been a stable experience throughout, right? I mean, to be fair, we're playing on 15-year-old software, and I'm sure there's been updates here every now and, you know, like, we're playing on a frankly old game, and it's still this stable versus, like, yeah, there's your roll bust. But, like, in comparison to other things where it's like the game doesn't even work. I mean, I'm willing to give it points there. Yeah, I hope you feel better. I hope the reaction videos are helping you get through that surgery. Lethal Company with the mod. I've heard a lot of good things about Lethal Company. I might get it. I just have so much that I want to play. This will be an interesting. We're going to see what reception this gets on the channel. Because I would like to do this, but it's probably going to be like a once a week or once every 2 weeks kind of thing. Because getting through, like, I need to get reacquainted with Lotro first. I need to actually be able to look at some of the skills and look at, you know, some of the mitigations and stuff and be able to actually get back into content. But I mean, in itself, the world exploration's great. Right, I can die from falls in this game. I forget. 14's kind of spoiled me in that regard. I can die from falls. Falls are in fact fatal in most games. It's weird. Like, I mean, I have a nostalgia for this game, don't get me wrong. But I'm also looking at it like, God, this is better than AAA experiences I've bought in the past few years. It's such a weird thing to think about. It really kind of is, though. Oh, it's got to be in there. I have to remember my actual, like, kind of Shire geography to kind of go, because Crick Hollow's down. What do you mean to the Shire? Oh, I'm not even in the Shire. When was there an intermediary zone? I don't remember this. Arid Loon. Yonder Shire. The Shire. And we can't go to the South Farthing. I don't remember the Yonder Shire. I'm actually blanking that. Evandim. That was here. Wow, I actually saw another player in the Undershire. That's kind of weird. Okay, we're gonna... So remember what I was saying about Hunter having a little bit of privilege? Just gonna warp to it. I get access to all the pretty big stuff, all the pretty big points. Yeah, I don't remember that. Like, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that it was here. I just don't remember the Ondershire. What the hell? It's a lot of... Oh, these are probably other world NPCs for stuff down the line. It is a big hub. Yeah, hunters are pretty tech if you need to get around, or if you have a party and you're like, hey, we need to get to Bree. I need to go do some stuff in Bree, right? Like, cool. Hunters got you covered. AAA game that fell off quick, Calypso Protocol. I completely forgot that it even existed, being completely honest. I also like that on the map, you can still move. Like, I'm sure that every other MMO's done this. I actually don't remember an MMO that didn't have that, but... Callisto. Okay, no, yeah, Callisto Protocol just kind of fell off. Yeah, I wanted to get it, but then I just something just told me not to get it. And then it came news about after it launched the EULA debacle, that thing kind of came out, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not getting that now. But I mean, like, I wanted it to do good. I wanted it to succeed. It just didn't, which is unfortunate. But that's the thing about AAA games at this point, is it's like, it's so hard for me to want to invest in a AAA game. And even when I invest in a AAA game, what is going to respect my time more? I can just do this. I can just wander around a series and talk about Lord of the Rings for approximately an hour, right? I mean, which one's going to be just more respectful of my time? Devs tried to separate Two from Dead Space, focused almost wholly on melee. Not what made Dead Space good. Like, well, that's the thing, is it's like, I don't know, because game dev hard, right? Don't get me wrong. It's hard to, like, separate yourself from that. So I get why they went as hard into trying to separate themselves as they did. But if it's to the point that it's to the detriment of the products, you have an issue. Callisto Protocol was effectively some of the old makers of Dead Space. Like, they tried to make a horror game, space horror game, but it just didn't really have any staying power. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, no, Dead Space Remake happened and absolutely just buried it, which is its own kind of irony, honestly. Is it up a little bit more? No, it's to my left. I forgot they had the party tree here. Yes, I mean, to be fair, as far as I'm aware, he didn't really miss anything in regards to Callisto Protocol. Like, as somebody that liked horror, it's like, I'm not. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna horse it. I'm gonna horse it. There we go. What's supposed to be amazing return to form. Let me get back to that comment in a second. They really did up back end from last I was here, actually. Like, they really made this a lot more. There's a lot more flowers and stuff here. I kind of dig it, actually. This is actually super cool. Sackful Bagginses. Oh, I've been going pretty well. How about you? Yeah, sometimes you just can see iconic locations like that, which is super cool to me. Remake was supposed to be entirely soulless and a cash grab. Yeah. Yeah, but Dead Space Remake actually ended up being really, really good, which is problematic, especially if they're going to make a Dead Space 2 remake. I actually don't want them to make a Dead Space 2 remake. I would take a remaster. I would take exactly the same game with AI upscaling. I would buy that. I would not buy. I would be very, very hard pressed to buy a Dead Space 2 remake because I love Dead Space 2. I run it regularly on stream. I talked about bringing some of the old devs from Dead Space and redoing Dead Space 3 entirely. I could see them redoing Dead Space 3 entirely. It's actually kind of rough. Messing with farming near Baggin last night and planted, harvested my first batch of pipeweed. Nice. No, it's interesting. Like, I mean, 14 other MMOs kind of have it, right? Like, doing just this, just / smoke, right? Just, like, blew my mind back in the day. Like, absolutely. Because, I mean, I also came from RuneScape, and sure, you had your max cape emotes and stuff like that. But, I mean, there's a lot of heart and soul into this game, and I don't know what the later content's like. I have nothing that I can say about, you know, like the Lonely Mountain. I can't say anything about that. I can't say anything about Umbar as I'm not there. Is it Helagrod? No, Helagrod's Shadows of Angmar. Can't remember. It was one of the more... Azog talked about it, but it wasn't lore accurate. What was that mountain's name? It's the stupid mountain it's the northern tip of the Misty Mountains. What is it? It's actually gonna mess with me. Give me a second. Come on, Kip, you know your lore better than this. So if we go to Eregion, North Downs, Mordor, Misty Mountains. It's at the north end of the Misty Mountains. It's where the dwarves are said to hail from, but it's infested with orcs. Why can't I remember the name of this stupid mountain? It's actually frustrating me right now. Why can't I remember this? Oh my god. I can't remember the name of it. I know it. I know, as soon as someone says it, I'm gonna know exactly what they're talking about. No, it's not Moria. Moria, Khazad-dûm is different. No, Azog in the Hobbit trilogy was talking about the mountain. It's the northernmost tip of the Misty Mountains, and that's where the dwarves hail from, because the dwarves came into Moria. But like it's overrun with orcs now. Gundabad. That's what I was thinking of. Gundabad. Oh my god, that was. Whew. Yeah, Gundabad came in as new content. I can't speak on Umbar. I can't speak on Gundabad. I can't speak on Mordor, etc. But I mean, as far as it's concerned, I will say, however, leveling is really tedious. So people wonder why, Kip, why are you getting a 90 Black Mage in A Realm Reborn? Because I had to level in this, because I had to level in RuneScape. Let's put it that way. And I mean, sure, there's things like the Outriders token and stuff like that, where if you get a specific edition, you get a cool, like a catch-up, like how the Ring of Leveling in ARR, where it's a ring and you get, plus 30% XP or whatever until X level. Same thing. It's a pocket item. You get plus like 25% XP till you hit that level, right? So, I mean, like, yeah. Mordor, you mean that game about Talion? Yes, we'll say that. It's gonna be really weird. I know we're gonna shitpost, but it's gonna be really weird to think about that. There's gonna be like kids growing up that have never seen The Lord of the Rings, and they'll be like, there's soon there'll be kids that have never even seen The Hobbit. Think about that. That's gonna be strange. Gundabad was a fortress. I'm pretty sure it's a mountain. I'm 90% sure it's a mountain. Is it? See, now I have to look. Gundabad. It's a large fortress in the Misty Mountains housing... Okay, it could be the fortress. What's Gundabad on? Vales of Anduin, Mount Gundabad appeared to be endpoint of the Misty Mountain. And yeah, it's the northern endpoint of the Misty Mountains and the west point of the Grey Mountains. Past Mount Gundabad. And, okay, so it continued past it. I think it's... I don't know. It looks like it's a mountain and a fortress in one, I guess? Some lore aficionado is going to have to do that. Every fucking late night cartoon channel as a kid, yeah. Oh, at some point they will see Lord of the Rings, at some point. But it might take them a little bit. And it's a damn shame because like, I grew up with that. I grew up with Star Wars, I grew up with Lord of the Rings, grew up with Harry Potter. Like, I grew up with a lot of stuff. The thing that appeared in the Rings of Power. Oh, God. See, you joke. You joke. But it's not. We are hitting that point, aren't we? Mount Big, yeah. Do I have my Undying title? That was a drastic change. That is a dirty river. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know He-Man, Thundercats. Yeah, you get a bunch of people like, man, what is this cartoon in the Tom Christie Destiny videos? And you're just like, don't even talk to me. I think so this is Buckland. I think Crick Hollow is somewhere around here. We're going the back way. Are there goats in this game? Yeah, you can actually ride a Moria goat once you get to the Moria expansion. You actually have the ability to ride that mount. Just giant goat. It's such a weird thing because every time you go in and out, actually, you'll actually say entering chat channel, and you'll enter different areas chat channels. That's a feature from MMOs past. Like, wow. There's the moot here. And then you get to go through. See, this wasn't in the movie, right? Like anyone that's seen the movie and or read the books, I mean, if you've just seen the movie, right, knows about the Old Forest and how we never actually got that. And to be fair, it is one of those things that like we couldn't really get that in the movies. It would have, I think, it would have ruined the pacing. And an already long introduction in terms of concerning hobbits and stuff. I think that we I don't think it's possible that we really would have got that in a relevant capacity. I think it was a relevant cut to the final finished product. Rings Power still knew he was watching it, and the poor bastard was about to have an aneurysm. Right, yeah. Like, we're getting to that point where people are gonna, like, understand Lord of the Rings, not for Lord of the Rings, not for even The Hobbit, but understand it for Rings of Power. And I think that is a slap in the face. I think that's a slap in the face. To just, like, this is how you remember this? This is it? I actually don't remember how to get through this. Right, this is a dead end. It is pretty maze-like. Yes, it is a old forest. You're gonna draw attention to the barrow blades. Why have all that in there? Right, and that's the thing, is actually, I mean, like, you could actually... They weren't actually said to be barrow blades, which actually opens up an interesting plot hole with the Witch King in Return of the King, the movie, because, well, why did his sword work? But I mean, they didn't even really... In the books, they went over that the blade was the blades of Cardolan. They were enchanted. It was spells specifically made to fight the Witch King of Angmar, and that's why when Aragorn gave it wasn't even Aragorn that gave them the daggers. It was that they picked it up from the mounds. So they would have had to like. They would have had to actually put in the Barrow Downs. It's just like, it would have been way too much. So the finished product that we got, I think, was fine. I should be able to go through this gap. There we go. Naturally, this is going to be very, when you're on level, this is definitely very interesting to go through. Definitely very oppressive. Where is he? Weaver's Den, that's just spiders. There's stuff here. Abandoned cottage. I actually didn't even... Why are you here? Can you even speak? Do you do anything? Just... There's a story being told here. There is so much here that is actually kind of funny. Like, that is a, okay, that's a thing. Just Hobbit holding a weapon at the ready in the old forest near a location. Got him. Called Abandoned Cottage. That's the one. Wow, okay. That's a... I don't care who you are, that's great. There's a whole plot line being unfolded there. Is this it? Is this it? Maybe? Is this Old Man Willow? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If people that have not read the books will have no idea who the hell this is. Maybe people that have read the books have no idea who the hell that is. And it has a thematic effect of just sapping your strength. It's cool, actually. There's a lot of, like, interesting tidbits here. It's actually fairly interesting. Forgot that he was this far north. I thought he'd be way further south, actually. There's a horse, don't worry about it. Just horse things. And then even more so interestingly, you have your little Tom Bombadil. Is there actually a player here? No, it's someone else. I don't remember them being there. Got into Tolkien. It's a long and interesting series. Oh, this used to be the old... One of the old game intros, actually. Yeah, you can just chill with Tom Bombadil. Once again, you will have no idea who that is unless you've read the story, read the books, and or dived into deep and extended lore. You'll have no idea who the hell that is. But it's the fact that it's possible. It's the fact that you can. Like, they didn't have to. They could have gone with just a straight video game adaptation. They could have just gone for an easy win, right? But this, I think, is what gives it some staying power. Yeah, Tom Bombadil sure isn't... He's a merry fellow. He's a very interesting fellow. I never thought that I would hear the term Bombadussi in my life, and I don't know how to feel about that, actually. I forget that there's brigands down this far. And then actually, the Barrow Downs has 2 locations. You have the Great Barrow, which is in the southern Barrow Downs, and actually a little fort down here too, which is actually kind of neat. And then you have where Frodo got trapped at the spire is actually in the north. It's divided in north and south, and there's actually a little bit of a level discrepancy. You're looking at like low 20s here, right? Yes, the 1918s, low 20s. And the moment you actually go into the Barrow Downs proper, the southern half, you're starting to look at some a pretty big level change. No, no, I'm not repeating that message. But atmospheric, right? I mean, so soundtrack has been something that I've been talking about for a long time. The soundtrack, the noise, like all of it is just amazing. And it's very atmospheric. It's so cool. So you have the spire, which was where the company was caught in the Barrow Downs. And as most everything right now is just like stray dogs, little like worm crawlers and stuff. God, I'm actually like backtracking. I think this is where I actually got my Undying. Get to level 20 without dying. Because that's a title in this game. I don't think it goes past 20 though. I think they start understanding that, yeah, people are probably gonna start dying. But there's up through level 20 you can get a like, hey, do play game without dying. I remember like my first time. I remember, yeah, no, I was on level having to go in here, and then you start seeing your Barrow Wights and stuff, which that has its own implications because of the Witch King. I don't think you can see Ostgorthad in the... Don't you sniff at me. And you'll notice that there's a level jump. They start going to 20, and at the back end, I think they're like 20s, 23s. But it's awesome. Like, you can have an immediate just, oh, cool, I went through this in lore. Or cool, I went through this in the books. I went through this in, a video I just saw. And be like, oh, cool, I want to go there. And now, yeah, relevant status effects like Dread because, undead. Forgot. Yeah, this is actually one of your first instance areas, now that I remember correctly. The Great Barrow has like 3 instances in it. Sambrog. What was it? Sambrog. I don't remember the key for it. I actually don't remember. It's been way too long. There's even more of a sense of dread. You got the mist. It's so cool. Definitely some poppin', but I mean, older game. Can't really give it too much crap, I guess. There was one specific area. Was it up here? I think it was up here. There was a very specific area you could actually look out and see Bree, but you couldn't necessarily jump down because of fall damage. Very atmospheric. It's not even like it's just... I saw that. I saw you sitting and go to immediate ready. And thus, yes, this is the area. You can have a complete overview of Bree. And there's some, some pop in a little bit. It's such a cool sight, though. But can I jump down? I think I can. Yeah, I'm gonna take fall damage. It's fine. And you even get to see some of the old Arnorian architecture and stuff. New Fat Electrician upload. I did not. Outside of Tuesdays, I'm trying to like not worry about React content. I'm trying to pace myself on it because I'm still pretty burnt out. And then obviously you get into your Breeland. It's such a big area. I don't think I've even ever been up to this lake actually. I think I've been there. This is going to be a lot of players like first big thing because you can actually exit the Barrow Downs over that way, which you're supposed to go in, you're supposed to exit. But like Bree will also regulate if you're not on a powerful enough system. Bree has enough people that it will actually tank the performance of your game. I don't know if 14 has any areas like that. Like RuneScape's GE on like World 1, 2, and 3 will be so packed you'll start seeing some frame rate issues. Bree is one of those areas that, especially when you like get around where performance is, or a bunch of people are coming back to the game, a bunch of people are on, right? I mean, you're gonna start seeing some frame rate issues. So just one of those things that like people just hear, people just vibing, people play music. It's great. I love it. But yeah, that was actually a really interesting dive back in. And it kind of serves, rather than having to create a new character from scratch, it was kind of a good trip down memory lane to be like, okay, yeah, no, as an elf, I went through the Thorin's Hall, went through that entire thing with Skogrim Dowerhand, went down to Kilondim, went up to about Gondomon area, leveled, and then I went to Bree. I mean, like, it was a good way to, like, kind of jog my memory, so to speak, even though no combat was done. Like, it's an interesting game. It really is. And I don't know how often I'll be able to upload these. I don't know how often I'll be able to do these, Cat. I'd like to do it more. I'd like to play some more Lotro. I'd like to play this a little more often. It's one of those that I only can do so much of it, though, over a period of time. Because if I play enough, I mean, I don't want to burn myself out on it. But it's interesting. If you're on the Kip TV channel, let me know what you thought of this. I thought this was a very interesting first look back into Lord of the Rings Online, and I've been wanting to do some for a while. If enough people want to do it, I mean, you know, enough people want to see more of it, I'm more than happy to oblige. I thought this was a really cool entry back into the game, if you will, and it really is. There's a really cool game at its core. It does follow less of the movies and more of the books. If that's a thing that's a deal breaker for you, just know that going in. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. That's all I got. It was awesome to go back through a lot of this. And I will leave you for the next one. I don't know when the next upload will be on the Kip TV channel. But thank you for watching if you watched this whole thing. And yeah, take it easy.